words appear. Zoe's tips, tricks, and how-tos. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? The Blind Perspective Network. And Victor Gouveia announcing. Sponsored by VIP Tech. Welcome to Zoe's Tips, Tricks, and How-Tos, the show where you get to learn how Zoe makes her life more accessible. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? Brought to you by VIP Tech. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. Remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and share it with your friends and family, especially if you think they can benefit from anything that's said here, and subscribe, activating the notification bell so you know when we go live or upload a new video. We also stream on our Facebook page, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, and on Twitter, @BlindWhos. Alternatively, if you don't like live streams, you can always benefit from podcasts. Whether you have an Apple device, a Google device, a Windows device, or even an Amazon device. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. And if you have a Victor line of players, go into the podcast section and do a search for Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, and you'll find our episodes there as well. If you would like a copy of this episode on audio or video, or any episode broadcast on the network, send us an email, whoseblindlifeisitanyway@gmail.com, and we will send you out a folder link on Dropbox that houses all the episodes we broadcast on the network. On this episode of Zoe's Tips, Tricks, and How-Tos, Zoe demonstrates the LifeSource Talking Blood Pressure Monitor by A&DMedical. And now, your host, Zoe Fiogkos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tips, Tricks, and How-Tos. So, I think this video is going to be pretty short. I'm going to demonstrate for you a talking blood pressure monitor. So I have my mom as the guinea pig. I'm going to take her pressure in front of you guys. It's good to have your own blood pressure monitor, especially when you have seniors at home or if you have health issues. I have mentioned many times that I'm type 2 diabetic, so it's good to keep what's the word I'm looking for? It's good to keep an account of where my pressures are. That's not the word I was looking for, but you get the idea. Okay, now, I'm sure there are better talking blood pressures on the market. I got mine from Amazon, but you can get it anywhere online. This blood pressure monitor is called LifeSource. If you type in the internet, LifeSource Talking Blood Pressure Monitor, it'll come up. And it's by A&DMedical. So that's the letter A as in alpha, the ampersand sign, and then D as in delta. A&DMedical. Now, I have to tell you guys before I describe anything that this particular model does not connect to an app. There are models that connect via Bluetooth to an app on your Android device or your iPhone. Now, I tested the app out. It's not 100% accessible. I did sign up for an account. It was a little difficult. It's hard. There are unlabeled buttons. If you're persistent and you don't mind fiddling around and going back and making mistakes and going forward and blah, 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 and maybe redoing it a couple of times, I can be stubborn when it comes to stuff like that. So I was able to create an account without assistance. Now, if this was a Bluetooth connective device, I don't know how well the app will actually work. I looked at the blood pressure monitors on the, I would say it's about 85% accessible. So it actually might be worth it. The app is free. So if this device ever fails, I might actually look into getting one that connects via Bluetooth, because I do have the app on my phone, and maybe, since I was able to create an account and actually scroll through the app and see their devices and get instructions on how to pair and connect and whatever, that's why I say it seems like it's pretty much accessible. Not 100%. Okay, so this comes, it's I don't know what color it is. Blue, Mom?
Gray.
Oh, okay, it's gray. So it has a gray carrying case that it feels like vinyl, and it opens up. There's a zipper. Inside there's a the cover of the case has a plastic, I think it's see-through sleeve, and then on the bottom it's just an empty area. So this is, you have 3 items in your case. You have the actual device, you have the power source, the power cord, which I have plugged in right now, but I will unplug it. So just a regular power source. And of course you have the actual cuff for the arm. You've all been to the doctor, so thank God. The fact that I'm not good at describing, well, it doesn't matter, because you've all been to the doctor and you've all had your blood pressure taken. So it's this, Velcro-y thing that goes around your arm, and it's got a tube, a plastic long tube that hangs from it, okay? So, now, this is a talking monitor. It's got a huge LED display at the front, so it sits on, it's kind of, I don't know, it's not really a square, it's not really a rectangle, it's kind of a rectangle that's kind of on a slant. So as you put it down on your counter, the top part is slanting upwards. So if you run your hand down the device, you go down, like as if it's a slide. So it's a rectangle thing on a slant. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's okay. If you turn the device upside down, of course, there's a battery compartment. And if you open up the way you open up all battery compartments, there's a little clip that you can feel, and you push it with your finger and open up the compartment, and it has 4 batteries in here. The batteries come with this. They're rechargeable, because you can use this. Let's say, I don't know, let's say you have severe blood pressure issues and you've packed this up in your carrying case and you've gone on a picnic and you're not feeling well. Well, you don't need the power source to take your blood pressure because you have these batteries in here. So, I'm going to turn the device back, right side up, and as you put it down, on the left hand side of the device, there's a big round, it feels like a hole. It's round, and obviously you can insert something in that. At the back of the device is a smaller hole. So obviously you insert something there. Okay? So that's the 2 holes that you need to know about. So, the one at the back is your power source. And you just you take the tip of the power source that feels, I don't know, like a little knob, and you insert it into the hole at the back. and plug it into the wall. Now again, you don't have to if this is charged, but I'm just going to show you guys. So, okay, it doesn't work that way. All right, I've plugged it in. Now, you've got the cuff. The instructions that come with this particular monitor say that your feet should be flat on the ground, your palms should be facing up, your arms should be bent, the one that's going to have the cuff on it, and this plastic long tube that hangs from the cuff should be between your arm and the side of your body, so meaning the side of your chest. And if you open it up, it goes, you know, you hear the Velcro. You have to hold it open because it rolls. It rolls closed. So you have to hold it open. So I'm going to put it on my mom's arm, and I'm going to line up so that this tube is at the side. So I'm going to lift her arm. I'm going to put it on, but she's twisting her arm. Bend, thank you. Okay. Now, you bring the two parts together and then you try to put the Velcro on without bending it. So you want it to be all smooth, okay? You have the person bend their arm, palms open, and this, like I said, this tube thing is right where her chest is. So it's between her chest and her arm. So this is what you plug in to that big hole on the side. So I'm just going to insert it. You have to push it in a little bit. Okay. Feet flat. Now, on the actual device, like I said, there's a big LED screen, which I guess gives you the reading, but who cares? We're blind. Who knows, right? There's, beside the LED, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. If I press one of these buttons, if I press the bottom button, it's a speaker button, but when okay, so it made that audible sound.
English.
And it tells me it's on the English.
Instructions on.
Instructions on. And that's all the choices it gives me. All right. So, I guess if you want to change it to Spanish, I'll show you.
English.
English. But I don't want English, let's say.
Français.
Oh, Francais.
Español.
Español.
English.
And it goes back to English. So it's got English, French, and Spanish. And then if I press that button again, it's the last button of the 4.
Instructions on.
It tells me on, and if I press the top button,
Instructions off.
it says instructions off.
Instructions on.
Okay, so instructions on. And I'm going to press that button again, and we should hear the audible. There we go. Okay, so the top button is for changing those choices. The bottom button is for, so like the mode, language, and then you go to the top, press English, French, or Spanish. And then you press that bottom button again, and it'll tell you instructions on or off. Now, there is a clock button. It's the second button from the bottom. So I said these buttons are 4 buttons vertically, going vertically. The last one was what we just did. The second one is your clock. But no matter how much I press it, it does absolutely nothing. It may do something manually, but it doesn't do anything for me. I can't read or hear. I can't read the screen. So forget the clock. You might get a sighted person to do that for you. Personally, I don't care about the date and the time because I jot things down on my phone or, in a book or whatever. And there is this holds up to 90 readings. So if you connect it somehow, I guess. I don't know. Is there a port on here? Let me just check. No, there's no USB port. Yeah, there's no USB port. So this one is not connectable. So why it holds the readings, I don't know. I guess if you just want to remind yourself. But if you press that top button. Oh, Jesus. Hold on.
English. Instructions on.
Yeah, okay.
Average. Your systolic pressure is 125. Your diastolic pressure is 84. Your pulse rate is 72. According to published standards, your reading is pre-hypertensive.
Okay, so I pressed that top button, and out of all the readings it's taken, so let's say the last 90 readings, it gives you an average, okay? And then at the right bottom corner, there's a huge button, a huge one. That's your start button. So we're gonna have Mom not talk, breathe normally, and I'm gonna press that button, and it's actually gonna give the blood pressure instructions. So listen.
Please sit down with both feet flat on the ground. Rest your arm on a flat surface elevated to heart level, palm up. Place the cuff on your left arm. Refer to instruction manual for proper cuff placement. Fasten the cuff tight. Make sure the air hose is centered on the inside of your arm. Press the start button when you are ready to begin.
So she gave us a whole bunch of instructions, which I told you verbally, flat feet, palms up. The tube should be on the center of the inside of the arm. And she basically gives you all the instructions, and she says, press start when you're ready. So I'm going to press start.
Please sit down with both feet flat on the ground.
Okay, I waited too long, so I'm just going to press it again.
Preparing to take measurement. Please do not talk or move.
So she said, preparing to take measurement. Please do not talk or move. And now this is actually taking my mother's blood pressure. So we're going to wait till it finishes.
Your systolic pressure is 129. Your diastolic pressure is 90. Your pulse rate is 65. According to published standards, your reading is hypertensive, stage 1.
Okay. So it gave us a reading. Now, the manufacturer recommends that you do, the manufacturer recommends that you do 3 readings. Because you might be nervous, because maybe you moved. I heard my mom move her leg, and she's not supposed to. You're not supposed to move at all. So they recommend that you do this 3 times to kind of get an average reading. So it says that she's stage 1 hypertensive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true, right? I'm just going to do it one more time. Ready, Mom? Mm-hmm. No moving. So I pressed the button and nothing happened. It's probably erasing the last one. So I'm going to press it again. And if she starts to give me the instructions, because I already know them, I'm going to press it again. So I'm going to press once.
Please sit down.
Yeah. And I'm going to press again.
Preparing to take measurement. Please do not talk or move.
And you can hear the machine working, and you can actually hear the cuff tightening up. And then there's silence, and then there's an air release.
Your systolic pressure is 127. Your diastolic pressure is 88. Your pulse rate is 66. According to published standards, your reading is pre-hypertensive.
Okay, so the numbers changed a little bit, and it said pre-hypertensive. But if you look, if you remember the numbers, her first number was 129. Now it's 127. Her second number was 90. Now it's 88. And then her pulse rate was 66. Now it's 65. So she's probably just a little more relaxed. You know, we're on camera. We're doing this, whatever. So, in other words, her blood pressure is normal. So, thank you for visiting. My bill will be in the mail. $120. Yeah. Okay. Go, Mommy. So that's our blood pressure monitoring, and I just want to show you one last time on myself. So let's say you don't have somebody. Now, I'm using a desk office chair. It's got arms on the sides, so that way you can comfortably put your arm and bend. Your elbow, your arm needs to be bent at the elbow, and your feet have to be flat. And because this is an office chair, I can raise it or I can lower it. So I've lowered it right now so my feet can be totally flat. So let's say I'm on my own. I'm not feeling well. Nobody's home. Can I do this on my own? Of course I can. I should have worn another shirt because, oh, this one's got tight sleeves, but, so I've opened up the cuff. Now this is a medium cuff, and it's good for my mother. It's good for my cameraman. For me and my husband, it's a little tight, but it still does the job. But if you're a person who's a little bit overweight, maybe get one where the cuff is the large cuff. If you're bone rack thin, then get the one that's small. So what I've done is I've put it on my arm. I'm going to close it with my one hand. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the cuff should be above where they take your blood. So when you bend, that should be a little bit exposed, that area of your arm, because let's say somebody might put a stethoscope there, right? So even doctors, sorry, give me a second because I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. Okay. So even doctors, they leave this part a little bit exposed so that they can maybe put a stethoscope if they need to. So I'm just turning the cuff on my arm to make sure that it's between my chest and my body. So now, I've got the cuff on. I'm going to press start. So now you guys are finally going to get me to shut up, because I can't talk while this is working. So I'm going to press it and I'm going to shut up.
Please sit down. Preparing to take measurement. Please do not talk or move. Your systolic pressure is 136. Your diastolic pressure is 98. Your pulse rate is 102. According to published standards, your reading is hypertensive, stage 1.
Right. So, is that I would do, if I wasn't on camera now, I'm a little bit tired, I've had coffee, so my blood pressure's up a little bit. But like I said, I'm type 2 diabetic. So if I wasn't on camera, I would basically just redo this a couple of times. And because I haven't eaten, so my blood pressure could be up just from the coffee and just being tired. So I'm not worried, so don't worry about me. So you're done. So you unplug your device. You unplug from the back of the device. You unplug the plastic tube. You've got your carrying case. What did I do with it? Here it is. It really is up to you how you pack this up, but you take the device, put it in, okay? And then I just laid it on one side of the bottom part of the vinyl case. I'm going to roll up the cuff. I'm going to stick the tube inside the cuff. Okay. And I'm going to lay it beside the device. So the way the device is the way it's facing me, the cover's flap is at the top and it's on the bottom. Sorry. The handle of the vinyl is on the right, of the vinyl case is on the right side, and the flap is at the top. So on the one side, I put the device, and on the other side, I put the cuff. And I'm just going to grab the plug. And remember I mentioned a vinyl sleeve up at the top? Well, I'm just going to stick that in there. Stick it in there, all nice and compact. Close the cover. Zip it up. And there you go. It's all packed up and ready to go. And again, if you're somewhere and you don't need, you want to take it because it's got you want to take your blood pressure, it's got rechargeable batteries, you have the power cord with you because maybe you're at a hotel. But if you need to use it at a coffee shop or a park, it's there. I can't say that it's a small case. For women who have nice big bags and have a lot of things, this will fit comfortably in there. So if you want to carry it in a nice big bag on your, like a shoulder bag or whatever. So that's the talking blood pressure monitor. I hope it gives you an idea. Maybe this one is not the right one for you. Maybe you want to try the one that connects to Bluetooth. But I'm giving you a demonstration and an idea of how there are talking blood pressure monitors and it can be done at home and you don't need anybody's assistance to do it. Even though we can't set the time and the date, at least we can have instructions on, we can choose our language, and we do get the instructions, and she does read out the results. So to me, it'd be nice if it connected to my iPhone, but it does what's important. It reads my blood pressure and it tells me what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of tips, tricks, and how-tos. I hope I gave you some ideas. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I did mention, can't remember. I did get mine from Amazon, and it cost $100, which I guess is a pretty good price for a talking blood pressure monitor. Would I spend more on a talking blood pressure monitor if I could connect it to a device? Yeah, probably I would. But when I got this, I didn't even think about it. I just got it, and it works, and it does the job. Anyhow, love you guys. See you on the next... Oh, don't forget, if you have any questions, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner at gmail.com or Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway at gmail.com. And, of course, comment in the section below. And again, this was Life Source Talking Blood Pressure Monitor by A&DMedical. See you guys on the next episode. Love you guys.
Catch Zoe's tips, tricks, and how-tos every Wednesday afternoons on Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner and Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? The Blind Perspective Network.